Look, I mean, it was not a great performance, but it was a sensational game in many respects, wasn't it? Because there were so many gut-churning moments where you thought, we're going out. And then there was the acceleration of thinking, we're going through.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we celebrated a goal, like any England fan was jumping up and down, and we're buzzing that England have got through, Jeff. But we have to call it how we call it. We were both making notes during the game. We know what that performance was. We've got receipts. It was a poor performance. Manager, poor substitutions. And you know what sums up Gareth Southgate, Jeff? Slovakia are 1-0 up, and they make two changes before England make a change.
Yeah.
And one of their changes was Haraslin, the number 17.
Who had a great
game. Destroyed Kyle Walker in the first half. But second half, he's not performing. 60 minutes. Come off, mate. Would we do that? Would Southgate do that? No, he wouldn't. He just waits and waits and waits. Slovakia 1-0 up, make two changes before we make a change. That sums up Southgate. Doesn't know when to make the changes.
Do you think against the Swiss we will change the system? Obviously, there's no Mark Gahey, who's been our standout during the tournament. He's probably, he was at fault for the goal last night. No Mark Gahey because of suspension. Will we go to a three at the back?
It's a possibility, but there's also a possibility of Konsa coming in. Konsa's been outstanding for Aston Villa last season. Kyle Walker could come in and he can play Trent at right back. That's a way of playing as well.
And Lewis Dunk's just been a tourist so far.
Yeah, Lewis Dunk could come in as well. There's so many options in that defence that we could play, Jeff. But I just can't watch Foden on the left anymore. It's like a player who looks lost on that left-hand side. It's not worked, Southgate, for 4 games now. Make the change that every England fan can see. Eze come on in the 84th minute and done more in 6 minutes than Foden's done most of the tournament at getting at players. Give us an outlet on that left-hand side. Start Eze on that left-hand side. You have to make a change in the middle, and you have to drop maybe Foden for this next game. You have to do it. Saka as well. Saka's borderline being dropped for me as well for Cole Palmer on that right-hand side. Kyle Walker, better be careful because that's the worst performance I've seen Kyle Walker have in an England shirt. Trippier, poor yet again, always cutting inside. So, yes, we're positive we got through, Jeff, but it was a dreadful watch,
and
honestly.
Questions as well about Harry Kane, but we'll come to that a bit later.
Joining
us now for more on this, the Sun's Dan King, who was at the game last night in Gelsenkirchen. Morning to you, Dan.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Dan. Look, it's interesting to hear Gareth Southgate talk about the impact of his substitutions. Do you think that'll encourage him to make substitutions earlier in the game when things aren't going our way?
Well, you've really got to hope so, just for the sanity of myself and my colleagues, I think. I've never seen so many people in the press box so angry. I mean, it wasn't just the fans there's a guy next to us shouting, subs, from about the 48th minute, a fan. But then there are genuinely people in the press box feeling absolutely the same. Just couldn't understand, as Gabby was just saying, why we waited so long to make changes when the Slovaks had realised they needed to change the game, to change the momentum sooner. And it's very clear we just got very, very lucky. And you'd hope that not only would he make substitutes sooner, that he will change the starting lineup.
Dan, I was totally the same, mate. We had some observer seats, and I stood up and shouted, "Make a change!" And I sat back down. I thought, "Oh, be careful! You're in the media. You're not sitting at the stadium shouting at the manager." But it was just frustrating, isn't it, mate? Because England scored a goal with Foden disallowed. And I think because we scored that disallowed goal, Southgate sort of held back with the subs. It was the worst thing that could have happened because Palmer and Gordon were warming up like they were going to come on after 50 minutes. But make these changes earlier. How can Slovakia make 2 changes, 1-0 up, before we make a change? It's so frustrating to see. And come on. This is why fans are moaning, aren't they, at the stadium? Because they can see the subs themselves.
It was a surprise there wasn't a change at half time. I think what you said, Gabby, about Kyle Walker, I don't think any of us have seen Kyle Walker play like that for England before. It would have been brave but easy to take him off. Or since we were asking him to do things for England that he doesn't do, he's not going to play that killer pass behind. He wants to run in behind, and we just weren't playing like that. Well, if he's not going to have that role, with Mark Gay on a yellow card, do you maybe move Kyle Walker inside, shift John Stones across, and bring on someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold who can play that pass, just to change something? But to not change anything at half time was surprising. To not change anything to the middle of the second half was just well, it was almost suicidal, but we got out of jail.
So, I mean, Dan, there's no question that fans are going to be calling for changes for the next game. Gareth is incredibly loyal to his players, which is a great quality to have. Do you see him making many changes for the game against Switzerland?
Do I? I think he should, and I think he will. I think Phil Foden has had his chance on the left now. I mean, you can have a debate about should he have got offside for that goal, and we might have been talking about a different game. It might have been a game of two halves rather than a game of 94 minutes, 43 seconds, and then whatever else kind of happened after that. I think Gordon may well come in on the left. I think it's entirely possible that Cole Palmer will give him the chance from the start. I think it more likely, though, that he will stick with Saka. The issue is Luke Shaw fit to play and start the game? If he's not, then there is a case for moving Saka to left back, I think, and bringing Cole Palmer on the right. The thing with Palmer is he better as an impact player against tiring defences as he has been in the last two games, or does he done enough to deserve the start? I personally think he's done enough to deserve the start, but I can see the argument why he might not get it.
Well, until we give him a start, Dan, we'll never know, will we? Dan, look, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Dan.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.